Hey guys, Crypto Aussie here, and today I wanted to talk about a new thing I'm doing, which is using a robot. So it's well, not an actual robot, guys. It's like a trading bot, so to speak. But I'd read a lot into it, and a lot of people were using them. The one I'm using is Profit Trailer, um, where essentially what it's doing is basically buying coins on an exchange with your own money. So it's not that's one thing I think a lot of people get concerned about, like that it could run away or it could steal your money or something like that. This is actually something that you attach to your, say, Bittrex or Binance account, um, and you set the settings for how you want to run it. Yeah, so I've found it really good for instead of just having, say, Bitcoin sitting there watching the fluctuations up and down. At least it's something that's actually working for you in the background. You can go away, go about your everyday, and come home and find out, you might have made $10 or $50 or whatever the case may be. So um, it's been something I've been looking for. I think there's a lot of stuff out there that are sort of claiming to use robots, and you'll go in and programs that'll scam you if you stick around in them too long. Whereas this, at least it's a piece of software, I suppose, that's constantly getting updates. When you actually buy into it, you get lifetime support as well, and you don't have to keep paying for extras and add-ons and all that sort of stuff. And then you play around with the settings to find something that you're happy with. So I've gone away and done that. I'm probably about 2 or 3 weeks into using it now, and so far so good. Early days, I had a few hiccups with trying to figure out exactly what I was trying to do. The way I've set my one up is you'll see under this buy strategy, it's Anderson. So Anderson is one of the strategies you can use where it's basically dollar cost averaging down and buying more of the coin if it drops. And so then it's reducing your average price. Then you're really just looking for the coin to bounce back at some point, and if you've been buying it as it keeps continuing to fall, at some point you'd expect it's going to bounce back and then be in a profit situation. So I guess the only way this fails is if you buy into something and it just keeps going down, which is possible. But I've tried to set my profit trailer up so that essentially if I buy into something and I average down and it just never comes back, I've still been left with a coin that I'm happy to hold long term anyway. So I've cut out all the crap out of what it's been trying to buy for me. At early days, it was buying all sorts of stuff, and I got left with some junk coins which I didn't really want. They still eventually bounced back, but yeah, it was a scary ride at some point because if you get stuck holding a bag of a particular coin that, I mean, some of them, once you go outside the sort of top 100, there's a lot of crap out there as well. So, yeah, I've tried to stick to good quality stuff now. And yeah, so far so good. It even, I sort of had it running even during the most recent, let's call it Black Week for crypto, where everything just tanked and died, and it still managed to sort of eke out a profit out of that. So, um, yeah, I'm liking it so far. You'll see over here, I've left it pretty conservative. So what you'll find here, this is either your profit or your loss. It looks awful if you see it like that because it looks like everything's down, but that's what you actually should have because the moment they go into a profit-making situation, it should really be taking profit. Like this coin up the top here, that's the only one in profit right now. It's probably getting pretty close to being a strike through price to actually take the profit and run. The good thing about Profit Trailer is if it thinks a coin's got more to go, it won't just sell out straight away. It'll actually follow it and trail it for you. So I like that aspect of it as well. But I'm using this as a way of getting some sort of return with my money that's just sitting there. Because I've got a lot of stuff that's buying and holding, waiting around for the market to go to where I think it's going to go. But at least this way you've actually got your money working for you as well. So there's no limits or anything like that to how much you can put into it. It's up to you. I've got about half a Bitcoin just sitting in here. Yeah, playing with it, and you can use Ethereum or any other coin that's got a a lot of coins that have got an exchange for it. So I think on Bittrex it might pretty much be Ethereum and Bitcoin, but there are others. Obviously, you could do Litecoin or even Dogecoin and things like that. So, but yeah, I've just kept it to Bitcoin to keep it simple. You have to set yourself up with yeah, as I said, you can set the coins you want to buy in these settings. You can actually set the profit margin you want to take per trade. So zero point 0.3 is pretty small, but having said that, you don't want to be. Sometimes you'll get stuck with something and you want to get out. And if you've set this profit margin too high, you might be waiting for it to go up to 2% and it gets to 1 and then it drops away again. You've missed your chance. So I like having this ticking over all the time with lots of small tiny trades rather than big trades that I'm waiting around hoping they can get through. So um, I'll do another video one day on the settings I'm using for it. But yeah, it's just a cool tool to have. There's a Discord group that you can go to, and the guys in there like are always helping people that are trying to understand how it works. Early days when you first see like the settings and that, it's a bit daunting because you don't really know. Like unless you're a programmer and stuff, you look at it and you think, my God, this is going to be um, too extreme for me or whatever. If you don't have a tech background, but once you've been looking at it for a while, it's pretty easy to understand. It's not. You'll see here, I've got basically a pairs dollar cost averaging and the application itself. I can basically go through and set what I want to do. You can actually plug in coins that you don't want to be involved with. You'll see on this dollar cost averaging tab, I've got when it wants me to buy every coin. So if one drops, say 2.4%, 4.9%. So first, say you put 0.01 into something. If it drops 2.5% or 2.4%, it'll double up and buy that same thing again. If it drops down to it still goes down and still down another 4.9%, it'll buy it again, and so on and so forth all the way down. So I've set mine so after it's done it 6 times, if it's still not getting to the point where it's in a profit-taking situation, that's it. Don't keep buying it. It's obviously down for a reason, and if it comes back one day, so be it. But everyone's going to have their own thoughts about that. So I think that's a good way of doing it. But having said that, it really comes down to your own sort of situation and what you want to do. As I said, if I got stuck holding something, chances are I'm not going to be that unhappy about it anyway, because it's going to be a coin that I've got some sort of faith in anyway. But yeah, it's so far so good. You get a screen up here. This is nothing to write home about so far, but you can see here, like last week, it's made me 0.01 just from sitting around doing nothing. You get like a daily amount, $17 yesterday, $9 the day before. These amounts, they're small because I've only got a small amount of Bitcoin in here. So with half a Bitcoin, the orders I'm putting in for like 0.01 or even less than that. So if you had more capital to play with, obviously it can do sort of more trades for you, and you've got more capital to potentially put up. You can choose how many you want to have running at the one time. So I've got 8 as my limit at any given time to be in a trade on. But you can set that to 20 if you wanted to, or you can bump up the amount you want to invest per coin. So I've found it really good. Again, I'm going to just follow this and post videos every so often on how it's all going. As I said, I needed something that sort of feels like something's working for you. Like I'm all good with most of my things are in buy and hold type strategies where you're waiting around and watching the fluctuations. But at least this way it feels like you're kind of doing something to, yeah. If in a few months' time the half a Bitcoin's become a Bitcoin, that's great. That's perfect. Like, I mean, if I had done nothing, it would just sit there doing nothing. So the software itself, it costs 0.03, so roughly $300 or slightly higher on today's prices. And yeah, as I said, there's no sort of subscription fees or anything like that. It's purely just buying the software. As I said, I'll do some more videos on it with how it's all going. But post me any questions, guys, because if you've got questions, or if you've tried it out, I'd love to hear from you. Or if you've got questions about different settings that you've played around with. When I came up with mine, I watched a whole bunch of YouTube videos from guys that had run it, and then came up with my own sort of combination of things that they'd been successful with and tried out. Um, and everyone's going to have their own sort of things they like and dislike about particular ways of doing things. You don't have to do the dollar cost averaging either. Like if you just want to purely just do trades, buys it once, tries to get out at a certain profit, you can do that as well. You don't have to. I've just chosen this because I sort of like the idea of it, and I think it would probably make the most money if it runs the way I think it will. So wait and see, but yeah, exciting. It's pretty cool. And I'll keep you in the loop with how it's all going. Cheers, guys.